When refacing kitchen cabinets, replacing, or in my case, rebuilding the cabinet doors is just one small part of a larger project. In reality, you have a lot of small pieces that have to be taken care of in order for you to complete the task of remodeling that kitchen. It can be daunting, but don't worry. If you just break it down into its smaller, easily digestible pieces, as I have done in this series that you can find right up here, you'll be staring at a beautifully remodeled kitchen in no time. Step one was to rebuild the doors. It's something that I did, but you don't have to. If your doors are in good shape, you can just repaint them. You can find my video on how I paint cabinet doors right up here. Then it's always good to put new hardware on. So the handles and the hinges are next. You can find those videos right up there as well. The entire series of videos on this project are going to be in one playlist for your viewing pleasure. Right up there. But if you just did the doors, you're going to find there's so much more that you have to do to get a complete look. The sides of the cabinets and the toe kicks I always tackle next. Personally, I use 1/4-inch plywood to freshen those up. To save some money, I just happen to have some already in my shop. I just need to make sure that I cut around these screw holes. So I have roughly measured the size of the side panels and toe kicks that are visible. I'm not going to worry about what can't be seen. And notice I said roughly measured. That is going to come into play later on. When I cut my pieces, I'm actually oversizing them, and we'll fix that later. After I'm finished with that, it's time to prep my cabinets. A good wipe down and clean. Also, I've removed any baseboards that might mate up against the toe kicks. Contact cement is going to bond the new panels to the sides. I always wear my respirator when working with this stuff. The fumes, man, those can knock you off your feet. There is a low VOC version on the market, but I find that the low VOC version just isn't as good, so I just don't use it. Contact cement must be applied to both mating sides. So in this instance, the sides of the cabinets and then to one side of the new panels. And don't be stingy with this stuff either. Open up the wallet and buy an extra can of this stuff. Trust me, it'll be better in the long run. Now, you're going to want to take your time and line up the new panel before you press it down. Once you stick it down, there's no sliding it a little here or a little there. You might be able to pull the two pieces apart and then try again, but I find if the two were together for more than just a few seconds, you're really just kind of stuck. Now, you just want to make sure the two pieces have good solid connection, so a rolling pin works well. The towel is not really necessary. It's just my wife doesn't know that I'm doing this with her rolling pin, and if she just happened to watch this video, well, guys, you know what I'm talking about. Now, remember that oversizing thing I mentioned earlier with the side panels? This is where we're going to take care of that. A small trim router, you can buy these cheap along with a flush trim bit that any home improvement store will have. That makes everything nice and even, but not smooth. That's when you break out a squishy sanding block and do some fine tuning. I have some edge banding that I'm going to apply to the front. This is available at home improvement stores. I bought mine off Amazon in this huge roll. You can find this in different wood grains if you look hard enough, but because I'm painting my cabinets, I don't necessarily need to have the same species of edge banding as my sides and doors. You can find this in different wood grains if you look hard enough, but because I'm painting my cabinets, I don't necessarily need to have the same species of edge banding as my sides and doors. Just for the record though, mine does match, but again, it doesn't have to, so don't get too wrapped up in the fine details. I have this little plastic scraper I'll use to ensure a good bond for my edge banding. Once I have all the edge banding on, I can tape everything off with some painter's tape. And now I'm just going to have a good go with a foam brush. Notice how my kitchen is not out of commission while I do this. It remains completely usable through this whole remodel process. That is one of the benefits of breaking this process up into little bite-sized pieces, as I mentioned earlier. You can tackle one piece of the puzzle every weekend, and you can make it more manageable. Now you can put everything back together, and it's time for lunch. Hey, thanks for watching. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss a new video. Be sure to check me out at simplyeasydiy.com for a lot of other cool projects and stuff as well. Until then.